व्हीकल इनिस सब्सक्राइब करें हमारे चैनल को और बेल आइकन को प्रेस करें लेटेस्ट वीडियो सबसे पहले देखने के लिए।
While comes a motorcycle that claims to redefine motorcycling as we know it. And more often than not, that redefinition stops at horsepower and dynamics. This motorcycle though seems to have followed a slightly different script. Now, before I mislead you into believing I'm some sort of a gifted rider, let me clarify. The person you see here, that isn't me. He is in fact Ducati's test rider and a demon on a motorcycle. Alessandro Vaglia. This though is me. And don't expect the same dramatics from me on the V4 as you just saw. Well, I'm just not that skilled. But here's the thing about this new motorcycle. It is designed to hide your shortcomings as a rider with its dynamics, its high grip levels, and a bunch of smart electronics.
Hello and welcome to Bike Wale. I'm Vikrant and this is the new Ducati V4 Panigale. Now we've had a small go on the motorcycle so far and we will spend the rest of the day riding the bike. But what I can tell you at the get-go is that this motorcycle feels small, but it's really with the electronics and the grip. This is a phenomenal motorcycle to ride even for people who are not really skilled in that sense. And we will tell you more about what aids it gets and how it's going to help people ride better. Very desirable motorcycle in terms of design. And so let's get on to it and find out more about it.
Now, one of the highlights of this motorcycle is its engine. It is Ducati's first 4-cylinder engine used in a series production motorcycle. It displaces 1103cc, it is derived from the engine used in MotoGP, and it makes almost 215 horsepower. It also revs higher, feels smoother, and is happier in the top range than the older 1299 V-twin. But it's not short on tractability either. The mid-range, for instance, was strong enough to pull me out of second gear hairpins while I was still happily sitting in third, without feeling slow or bogged down. The engine, it remains the central part of the chassis, but the front frame is new now. It's a cast aluminium unit and has some flex built into it to add more stability over bumpy surfaces when leaned over. Now the V4, like most new Ducatis, comes with loads of electronic wizardry. But let's not get into that. Instead, we will tell you how all that translates on the track. With the V4, Ducati has achieved something special. They have made it much easier to exploit even by track noobs like me. Now, instead of demanding commitment, focus and skill from the rider, all the V4 wants is to be pointed in the direction of intended travel and then its throttle be opened wide. The rest it manages. Deceleration under braking is ferocious, but you can carry hard braking into apexes knowing there's cornering ABS. You can lean at slow speed or high down to the foot pegs knowing the Pirelli Supercorsa V3s are in fact race tires in road guides. And then you can roll the throttle to the stops whenever, wherever and however, knowing that anti-wheelie, traction control, slide control and every other electronic aid on the planet will see you through it all. It makes almost 215 bhp as we said, but the V4, it feels so manageable, so friendly and so intuitive you can't help grinning inside the helmet. The Panigale V4 has that innate ability to make you happy. The feel from its front at turn-in and when leaned over is outstanding. There's nothing remotely vague about the bike's responses, and it almost feels like it's an extension of you and something you can easily take for granted. And the V4's ability to change directions will have you confuse it with something much smaller and lighter. The V4, it makes you feel like a much better rider than you actually are.